Business intelligence tools are great when you're looking to improve organizational or departmental reporting. Companies will typically procure a tool for internal use, build the dashboards and reports that they want to use, and that'll be that. There is, of course, one use case for BI that is fairly common. A business might offer a product or a service to their clients and are looking to embed business intelligence tools to provide expanded reporting capabilities, interactivity, self-service, and more for their clients. In this case, you need to look at BI from the lens of how it can be integrated. Let's look at some important features that you need to consider when looking at an embedded use case. What, are you expecting something? A dad joke of some kind? Look, this is the 115th video that I've done. We can't have a dad joke in all of them. Okay, so onto the dad joke. They say that money talks, but all mine ever does is say goodbye. Oh, I'm Jeff, and this is Off the Charts with Jeff. The features that you need for a standalone BI tool will still need to be there for an embedded one, but there are some additional requirements that you need to have. Here's a quick rundown of the criteria that I believe you should focus on when looking for a BI product that you intend to embed. First and most apparent is embeddability. Now, I can see you saying, thanks, Jeff. You're telling me that I need to embed the product that I'm looking for, embeddable BI? How will I ever live without this information? Well, most products these days, even if the product has a niche in standalone, might have some kind of embedded capability. Just make sure that you're getting the experience that you want. Is everything going to feel seamless to the end user? Are you going to lose any features when it's going to be embedded? Does the content look different when viewed directly versus viewed on a website? We need to understand and have answers to these questions. And finally, does a user need to install anything to do something even slightly more advanced, like self-service activities? You can see here how Dundas BI is able to be directly embedded into any web application, and it feels like it belongs there. All features are as you'd expect, and you can do everything within the embedded scenario that you could have done within the tool. Now, hand in hand with embedding is security. And there's nothing worse than being forced to use two security systems for an application. You can see on this site that we're able to open up content directly and not be prompted to log in. This is a definite need for any public sites that you might be embedding content into. In other cases, you might require users to authenticate, which might come in some form of single sign-on, federated authentication, or something completely custom using an API. For all of these, I have some great videos you might want to check out if you want to see specifically how Dundas BI answers the question of security. For these, they're great pragmatic videos that are going to give you a walkthrough of exactly what's required. So definitely worth checking out. Another common form of security down the road slightly from the idea of a login is the idea of row-level security. This is where specific people can only see their own data. Basically, what's happening is users are going to be tagged with specific information, like their location, company name, department information, anything. When they log in and see data, they're only going to see what's available to them, be it through a self-service or from a pre-canned dashboard. You can see in this sample that as I log in for different users, they are indeed only seeing the appropriate information based on, in this case, their location. This is perfect for pre-canned content, but don't forget that this might also be useful if you're going to let your users build their own content, because as they're building, they should still only see dashboard that they're privy to. It would be a big problem if they can see the full domain of data, maybe very sensitive, while they're building content. So row-level security definitely applies to both the content creation and also the content consuming side of things. This really comes down to making sure that everything's controlled and filtered appropriately for those users. Now, on the subject of controlling what people see, data is another area that should be controlled in general. We call this goal governed data, and the idea is to insulate the user from all the clutter, redundant information, performance problems, stability issues, and generally give users a clean content experience. This is less important if you don't plan to offer self-service capability, but if you want to let your users build their own content, you really do need to think about offering a clean and easy data experience. In Dundas BI, you can build something called a data cube, which solves exactly this scenario that I was describing, as well as many other data issues. There are a couple other things that you might want to spend some time investigating, like the amount of white labeling support. Is the product that you're looking for able to match any branding that marketing is going to throw at it? If you're integrating it, it really sucks to have your reporting module not look anything like the rest of your application. This would be a really jarring experience for your clients and degrade the overall experience in general. I'm sure you've seen it, where you're comfortably going through an application, you click somewhere, and suddenly you feel like you've left for Narnia. For fun, I created a Star Trek themed login screen and a dashboard to show you just how much we can utilize any logos, any styles, any colors as we're doing this. When I log in, you can see that we indeed do have complete control over the look of the application as well as the content. This is something that's very important to be looking at because a lot of users, you really do only have very basic amount of flexibility when it comes to design and styling. And of course, on the subject of flexibility, every embedded deployment will require some kind of API support. You might not have a use case in your head now, but there's going to be something that you're going to want to have automatic or extend, or generally just sync up with your own application, maybe at min functions. There are certainly a lot of BI vendors who are not API first, and some of them may even charge for the use of API. Good to do some diligence here. I do have a video on Dundas BI and their APIs if you're interested in checking that out. Certainly worth a look. Now, the last thing that you should consider is costing. You're certainly going to see a lot of popular BI websites advertising $6 a user for BI, less than a Netflix subscription. But in our experience, this is not even close to reality when it comes to looking at embedded BI. These types of prices are usually for a light edition or some kind of entry to BI, not a full-blown deployment where you're embedding in another application. Now, another word of warning is to make sure that you're also not paying a per-user price, which is required by a lot of vendors. Make sure that there's at least some kind of unlimited option or a concurrent or shared licensing model that you can do. This will allow you to keep prices down while maximizing the number of users that you can expose this new reporting content to. So certainly worth checking out. Now, there's certainly a lot more that you need to consider with embedded analytics from a platform standpoint, but hopefully this list helps you get started. I've got a ton of videos covering many of these topics, so be sure to check those out if you want to dig a little bit deeper. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.